So guys, this is a Babies R Us that was on Central Avenue in Yonkers, New York. And the reason why I am filming this is usually Babies R Us are connected to a Toys R Us. If you've ever seen my other videos on Toys R Us, it's usually a Toys R Us and a Baby R Us. It's the same store. This was just a Babies R Us, and it was huge, and it was 2 floors. And the bottom floor was, like strollers and, all sorts of kid stuff. And then you could take an elevator up, but it was like a big staircase. And the top floor was, bedding and all that type of stuff. But it was a 2-floor Baby R Us, and it was huge. When I went up to the door initially, they actually had locations of other Toys R Us and I guess Babies R Us's to go to that were open at the time. So this was one of the first ones to close down, and they're directing you towards other Toys R Us locations that were open. They're not open anymore. And this other place called Castle Kids. I've never heard of that. I'm not even sure how that got into the window, but that was there. And I thought that was interesting. Now here's a look inside the Toys R Us. One thing I've noticed about all the Toys R Us's that I've been to, and I've done 2 other videos on 2 different Toys R Us. This is a Baby R Us, but they all seem to have the lights on. The lights are just on all the time. They never turn them off. Now, this Baby R Us had stuff in it still. It had chairs. It had computers. It wasn't totally cleaned out yet. And even though it was one of the first places to close down, it still just had a lot of stuff. There were computers in there. There were chairs in there. There was all sorts of stuff in there. And the other Toys R Us that I was at, which was on Central Avenue, had all its carriages. And the Toys R Us that I was at in the Bronx in Bay Plaza was completely wiped out. But this just kind of had a mix of everything. Here's one of the cart returns that I guess they're taking down. It's kind of in pieces. And here's the other cart return on the other side. And it looks like somebody ran into it with a car. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like somebody hit that side and kind of knocked it loose a little bit. I thought it was interesting, but the carts were still there, but they look like they've been battered up a little bit. Now here is the loading dock and where the dumpster is. There was no back way around this Toys R Us, meaning that this wasn't like a Toys R Us where I can go around the whole building. You were kind of, blocked on this side and the other side. So, and if there was, I wasn't like looking that hard for it, but this was some of the stuff that was there. There was like some broken up shelves. There wasn't really anything in the loading dock like the other Toys R Us. There was no like toys or anything laying there. It was just there was nothing. And that is the entrance to the Babies R Us. That's Central Avenue. It's a strip of stores and restaurants and shopping, clothes stores, everything. Anything you can imagine is on this strip, and it's very busy. So that is what I wanted to show you. A Babies R Us. I've been to this Babies R Us 100 times. It was a nice store. It was big. I guess I don't want to say I'm not like I'm sad to see it go. I'm sad to see Toys R Us go. I like Toys R Us. The Babies R Us, it's Babies R Us. But that is it. I hope you guys like the video. Subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I hope everything is going good with you. And God bless. I'll talk to you guys soon. And later.